4ASC looking very strong in game number 1, taking a pretty dominant victory once the landing stage broke down. Dakota, how you feeling coming into game 2, buddy?
Feeling good, man. I'm feeling good. We finally get to see some Undying. This guy had been banned every single game for the past couple of days here at esportal, but finally we get to see his ugly mug debut here on the side of the Hellraisers. And this is a team who does love to run Pugna, and I would be very surprised if they're allowed to pick it up next.
Yeah, you can tell HR are still a team that really identify with Undying. Game 1, they have second pick. They first ban him out. Game 2, they get first pick. They leave him in the pool, and they snatch him up right away. So we'll see if 4ASC kind of saw this coming, how they deal with it, and maybe we'll see if Undying truly is that secret weapon for HR to take a triumphant Game 2. Earthshaker and Clockwork, the opener for the 4 anchors. Nothing too crazy about it. You're off-laner and a very safe support. Although, we saw Trixie play the Earthshaker in the last game, so you never know. Could be some trickery. Maybe it'll be a mid-Clockwork. The sky's the limit here.
I do like getting that Earthshaker early, anticipation that with the Undying, Hellraisers might just segue into a heavy push, heavy siege kind of lineup, and Earthshaker's one of the best of just being the counter to that. Even just the mind game of having an Earthshaker out there makes a heavy push lineup kind of second guess, you know, how hard they can actually push, how tight they can uniform themselves onto taking these kind of objectives. And, well, they're going to get another run back here with the Tusk. You know, I don't like Tusk against an Earthshaker because you're pretty much already going to be putting a whole team together for him. Dread repped it last game in the off lane. He did a respectable laning phase, but things just kind of fell apart thereafter. So we'll have to see the second go-around if it's going to do him any more justice.
Yep. Man, Tusk, what a hero. He feels just very... I don't know the right word for this guy. I don't think Tusk is overpowered right now, but he is just so damn strong. You look at every single one of his spells and think, yep, I see how that could turn a fight around. And the Frozen Sigil, you know, we saw last game Dread wait to level it up. You see a lot of Tusk players go like 2-1-1 at level 4 and just get that early point so you have a little bit of an edge to chase people down. And I think Dread waited to pick it up until level 8 or level 9. Slight variations on the Tusk play, but I like seeing him. He's one of my favorite heroes to watch, man.
Dire team ban.
Oh, I agree with you on that. This time Hellraisers, they're smart. They're going to be banning out the PL. 4 anchors now 4-0, still undefeated with that PL. So this time they don't want to have to deal with it. So
yeah, nobody likes fighting against the PL.
So what are their other go-tos? When a PL isn't there, what is our next best option for 4 acres? Because right now they just kind of have an established foundation. A good initiator and your off-lane Clockwork, and of course we know what Earthshaker can do as a support, but we need some late game. We need some way to really thrive and dish out the heavy, hard-hitting damage. And I'm curious to see what's going to be their viable option. Or maybe they put that off a bit, maybe just kind of secure a secondary support. They do like to go with a Shadow Demon from time to time. Could be pretty useful here, and when you kind of need to survive that extra bit longer. And is also very good against any sort of counter siege or counter push. We'll have to see.
Yeah, we'll have to be a little bit patient here. Shadow Fiend is still in the pool, a hero that they certainly do play frequently, so they could look for that Earthshaker Shadow Demon combo again. Nymphy certainly played it well in the last game. Other carries that they have played a lot, PL, Gyro in their top few. Weaver is up there. Occasional Ember Spirit.
I think you called it right. I think Shadow Fiend, it'd be weird for them not to take it. It's their top pickup. They played it now 9 times, sporting a very sleek 6-3 record, at least according to that Dota.
I think that's 7-3 now.
Yeah, so it's like, and they're on Radiant side, so it just kind of would boggle my mind if they were to pass on that kind of opportunity.
Yeah.
But
they'll still need a safe laner, though.
I wanted to say on the course of stats, the Phage guy let me know that in that last game for Trixie as the Earthshaker, 21st highest sheet GPM, the 4th highest this patch on an Earthshaker. So
wow.
It was a stellar performance, and you know, just to kind of give him a little bit more to boast about. But hey, there it is, Shadow Fiend.
There we go. They did think about it a lot, though, so maybe contemplating some options for the safe lane. They don't play Slark very often, but I still think that's a pretty safe pick that they could grab based on their kind of play style in that last game, how that PL got involved pretty early on. I think that was part of that drum purchase, was so that he could get into those early skirmishes. And, well, that's where Slark fits the bill if you want to fight and then also have scalability towards the late game. But, ooh, Puck pickup for the Hellraisers now. Interesting.
Puck is good, adds great initiation on top of what they already had with Tusk, but this time they got extra lockdown. Puck could hold his own in the matchup mid lane against the Shadow Fiend. It's very mobile, very hard to gank. So I imagine they're just kind of looking to secure that Shadow Fiend won't have too easy of a time. But it doesn't really give away a whole lot on top of it. They still need to go with, you know, maybe a bit of sustained capability. They have it with Undying, but oh, there he is, the old man Cottrell being picked up. This is what turning into a 4 Anchors classic right now. They love this hero. This will be the 7th time they've picked it up. They already have a sweet 5-1 record with him in the patch. The only team, and I have a couple of notebooks here of notes, Iori, and of all the teams, and I constantly always like to do what their top picks are from like 1 to 10. They're the only team that have Coddle on that list. So
wow,
they get my bias for that.
Really, even Secret, I guess top 10 is pretty hard. They play Coddle some, but not a top 10 level team here. The 4 Anchors, they're the guys that really bring Coddle to the next level. I like that. Fun support. But man, Hellraisers, they are continuing to keep things interesting here. Jakiro now their 4th pick. I would imagine in the support role, but there was a time when core Jakiro was a thing. They could put him in the off lane. We do not see a lot of THD right now in general. They could do like a safe lane Jakiro and really try to commit to some push and grab a big pusher with this last pick. Seems like kind of an odd draft though. I'm trying to picture their power curve of when these 4 heroes really come online, and they've got a little bit of everything. They've got some lane dominators, a little bit of push, some okay team fight, kind of a lack of disable. It's an odd medley.
My early inkling is that they might be trying to do something maybe a bit on the aggro side for Hellraisers, possibly roll with a trifecta there at the bottom. But the problem is you got this Keeper of the Light, and he's one of the best at dealing with that kind of aggressive pressure. I mean, you might have to forfeit some of the reliable farm for your safe laner, but the blasts fly out, and suddenly this congested group of aggro Hellraiser squad is eating way too much punishment, and they can't really be on the assault that they'd like to be. So I think 4 Acres might be trying to think one step ahead as far as what Hellraisers are going to be trying to pull off here. But then again, it's just a Jakiro we don't see very often, and they could just decide to run it in a completely different case. I don't know.
All right, there's the Ember Spirit. So I did mention that, a hero they've played, I think, 2 or 3 times on this patch in Premier games. So certainly a hero that they know pretty well. Not a bad Ember Spirit game. A fair bit of magical damage for that Flame Guard to keep him safe, but not so much that it's just going to be taken off right away. So there's sort of that sweet spot for the Ember Spirit there. I think it's a pretty good pick to round out this draft. You look at 4ASC, they certainly have a lot of carry power, pretty good lane setup as well. I imagine it'll be that safe lane Ember Spirit with Shadow Fiend in the mid, but they do have a little bit of flexibility here.
5 seconds remaining.
This is it. Hellraisers, what's the game plan going to be? Right now they have no late game, so it's already feeling like a single core kind of a lineup. While 4 Acres already have the set down for both the Shadow Fiend and an Ember Spirit to kind of really thrive in the DPS department as the game does progress. And the mobility utility with the Keeper of the Light can always get Ember Spirit in at a moment's notice as he jumps out, and it's going to be the Bloodseeker as their choice. Okay. It's a bit funky here. I don't know. Hellraisers have a very brash, aggressive kind of lineup. They're going to be looking for a bloodbath here.
Yeah.
4 Acres, if they could still say, cool and collect like we saw in game number 1, it should be another good time for them.
Yeah,
that's just my early inkling.
Oh, I agree, actually. Looking at this draft, I wouldn't be surprised if this game played out in a very similar manner, such that the initial laning stage is fairly even, kills get traded back and forth, the beginning of the mid-game will go evenly, and then all of a sudden 4ASC will hit that mid-game stride and start to take these team fights in the true 5-on-5 fashion. Part of that, I think, is the clockwork. They have a really powerful initiator here, a hero that Trixie knows quite well, and we should have pretty high expectations for. HR do have decent initiation of their own, but I think they have the ease of execution disadvantage, meaning that it's going to be a little more difficult for them to make these team fights work. They really need to find that real keen initiation and follow-up and kind of pick somebody off first to make it a 4v5 to take team fights, I think.
Early smoke coming out from Hellraisers here. Almost feels ambitious, but unfortunately they don't have a lot of options That's what they're going to be finding here. Ember already down by the rune, but uh-oh, a lone keeper of the light. Looks awfully tasty if they scout him out here, and they will. Immediate snowball, they charge on in. Valix, what are you going to do about it? Not a whole lot. Trixie, though, might level up the cogs and keep them at bay, but the orb flies through from Aponinja, and he will be the one who strikes first.
He does jaunt to it. Empty nearby. They poke him a little, but there's still support, and Ice Path will deter 4SC from doing anything too aggressive. Well, it was a noble effort there from the Clockwork. If the Kato got on the other side of the cogs, there's a chance that he lives there and can dodge the orb, but it would have been a close call. So, yeah, a little bit disastrous. Great start for HR, and their invade does prove successful. They also got this ward down in the tree line here to block the pole camp in the safe lane. So, victorious on a multitude of fronts there. Who actually got the first blood? It was the Puck, so that is really good news. Now their mid laner starts off with a little bit of extra gold, a healing salve, and we'll have a head start over Nemphy towards that bottle.
And he got the bounty runes, so this Puck is
my.
pretty damn far ahead.
Yeah.
And this Tusk has been off the radar. Nemphy, you could tell, already a bit nervous about it, so he's not involved in even the first creep wave. Roman kind of showing himself here. He needs the assistance of Valix even just to be nearby as the safety net. So this is a prominent start right now for Aponinja. He's just going to look to try to take over. But this is more pressure on someone like Valix to have to step away from that defensive bottom lane and just maybe make some stacks so Nemphy can play catch-up from there.
So looking at these lanes, it'll be a dual off lane for HR, Undying Jakiro. We have seen this combo before. Super aggressive, very hard to deal with in these early levels. Gotham does go for that early point in decay so he can steal strength from the Ember Spirit. And once you hit like level 3, level 4, you've got 2 points in that Tombstone. Jakiro has a full spread of abilities. The amount of slow that they can put out is just disgusting. So Ember Spirit will not have a fun time in the initial part of this laning stage. You can see he's still 0 and 0 here and being very timid, and he approaches the creep wave. There you go, Matumba Man gets on the board, but slow start.
This game, Roman taking the reins of the Tusk. They're going to play him in more of that flexible 4 position where he's just going to dance around one lane and then look to try to make some action happen elsewhere. He's already on the way out, heading towards mid, but they have a ward that kind of scouts this whole movement, so Xiaofi knows exactly when pressure could be coming his way. He's just making some stacks for now, but you can see Valix doing his own stack work. Goddamn spots it. He's like, nice stack. I'm gonna block it out.
That's a nice little play there. That that prevents another 100 gold, 150 gold, what have you, from spawning in that camp. It's a pretty effective rotation there. You block the spawn, and then you also get yourself a rune. Hoping for the bounty, but still, nice stuff from HR.
Dread's gonna get Matumba Man here. He just levels up and he gets the kill. He knows that Valix is nowhere near, and neither is Boogie, so he just charges on forward, conveniently gets the level and uses a liquid fire. Now making a move onto Boogie. They got goddamn here with the Tombstone. No. That means the Walking Dead is now out and about. No Carl, no Lori to help. And that means they will run away scot-free. A double kill for Dread on top of it. 3-0. What a start for the Hellraisers.
Yep. This is what you would expect with a lane set up like this, utilizing the Undying Jakiro very effectively. Surprised to see the Jakiro doing so much solo damage to Matumba Man. But great setup there and a good start. On top of that, in the safe lane, their Bloodseeker is getting a lot of space. Not much that Trixie can do to stop him from farming on the Clockwork. The other side of it is that Trixie is getting some decent experience, almost level 4, but Just a Noob is leading the last hit chart right now, and this Bloodseeker is really off to a good start. Man, I am not on point today, Dakota. Undying falls in the bottom lane as Valix gets a little bit of vengeance from Matumba Man.
Yeah, the classic sniping keeper. You just kind of hide in the wings, and you can get off a nice sniping blast, followed up with a little bit of extra oomph from your Matumba Man Ember Spirit, and, well, it looks like maybe the Undying goddamn underestimated that a little bit. So now they're back in action, and finally 4 anchors do manage to get themselves on the board. It's always nice for a support as well to get those kind of early kills because you need it. If you're in a tri lane, you're not getting a lot as it is, and you just need that extra resource to get those support items. But here we go. They're moving on in. Goddamn. Going to be dropping the Tombstone here. Blast already out. Going to be connecting beautifully onto the 2. And Ice Path somehow going to be missing the mark. But Matumba still on the run. So much slow. I don't think they can overcommit for this. Dread thinks about it, but now they're going to go for him. Boogie almost has the mana for a fissure. Needs about 4 more. He's got it. Oh, he actually second guesses the commitment already too far. They're not going to go for it.
That was a close call. Dread just barely walks away. Goddamn, might not be so lucky. Nemphy rotating his way over and got him. He's on the run. The fissure falls short, and he will live. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, Bloodseeker gets a solo kill onto the Clockwork. Looks like he just dove the tower and was able to pick something up there. That is the other thing about Bloodseeker. Anytime one of these fights breaks out in another lane and they're just doing damage to the opposition, he's getting that extra damage, he's getting that extra movement speed, and then all of a sudden, you're getting chased by a near max speed Bloodseeker who is not much fun. I mean, look at him right now, he's got 500 movement speed.
Yeah. They're flirting with Dread here. They laid out. Coddle Earthshaker combo is so nice. You continuously have the mana to feed over him so he can get the fissures out. A fissure prompts an easy blast. And Dread is now pretty weak. He does have double rings, double ring of Redrens here to go into what I imagine being the tranquil build-up and maybe potentially a mech. Maybe he doesn't need to go straight for the Yules. You do have a Puck on your team, so he can kind of be the Yules carrier for your Ice Path, if that's going to be the case. But nonetheless, he heals up just fine, and well, we're back to just a Hellraiser's early prominent start. But we saw this before, Andrew, in the last game.
Yeah.
We'll see if 4 Anchors can kind of still continue to play this cool and round the game out in the end, or if this time Hellraisers will kind of hold on to this huge momentum boost.
This is a lot different from the last game, though, in terms of how far ahead HR is relative to that last game. Last game, it was even in the laning stage. There were a lot of kills back and forth. This is HR dominating the laning stage, and the key will be to keep up this momentum and keep this Ember Spirit down. Right now, Matumba Man has nothing. 10 last hits, a stout shield, and a bottle. Not even brown boots on him right now, and there's just nowhere for him to farm. And all the while 4ASC tries to figure out how to find farm for him, Just the Noob is still just up top, farming away. He's got that Hand of Midas recipe already in tow. But RMN clipped by the setup here on the fissure. Snowball buys him some time, right in onto Matumba Man. Coil on 3. Now the Tombstone comes out. This could be bad news bears for the Radiant side. They'll get 1 kill on the Keeper. TP home from the Ember Spirit. He'll be all right. And Boogie may just be able to live. Puck out of mana, does not have enough for an orb.
Ice shards right now.
God,
no! Not enough damage. He's making it away with 20 life. Ice shard's only level 1. That's the downside, unfortunately. Roman, who's been roaming up so much this game, he's still only level 2 on a Tusk. Over 6 minutes in.
Yep. Another level there, and that's a kill. If he lands on the other side of it, that's a kill. A lot of scenarios there where that Earthshaker dies. So what started as a really good situation for HR is only a singleton kill on the Keeper. They do create some space for the Bloodseeker. There are a lot of rotations, but that could have been a hell of a lot worse for the 4 Anchors. And now, got him, man. He is in enemy territory. Only level 3 as he rotates about. Beautiful Fissure blocks him out. Gets clipped by a raise. Gets clipped by a second, and Undying will head back to the grave. Go back home, buddy.
Boogie finally gets level 2. Aw, yeah. He had been level 1 for nearly 7 minutes this game. It's been a hard life for your Earthshaker. And they get a nice little snipe right there, a bit of a freebie. And I gotta say, I love the setup that they have. Puck with the laydown coil into a Tombstone. You either run and you get snapped with a stun, or you risk staying and fight in the midst of a horrid undead army. I think the team fight from HR is something not to scoff at, but hold on.
Dread is in
preemptive blast.
A world of hurt here. Oh my. That was a 4-on-1 for just the THD. He does drop the Macro Pyre, and there will be support on the way. Nymphy, he's going to try to TP home. Will he make it out? Yes, sir. No way to interrupt it, and a good heads-up play as both the Rupture as well as the Blood Right came out just for him. We'll see how the rest of this fight breaks out. Boogie on the backside. Orb will get jaunted too. Snowball hits him in the face. That'll make it a 1-for-1. Now Volix, he'll just TP home, or at least try to. Dream Coil interrupts it, and that secures another kill. Both supports for 4ASC dead in the grave, and now Matumba Man. It's 4 heroes diving his tower to come get him. He's only level 5. So close to that sweet 6, but can't put down a Remnant to hop out, and he dies. So HR finding a great trade in the bottom lane.
All right. HR looking pretty damn sharp at this point, and as you said, this is a huge dominating laning performance right now, and it's pressure again now on Trixie on this Clockwork. He's the one who has not been looking to get involved. He continues to farm top lane. He's got his level 6, so they got that initiator, but HR, after getting all these kills already, now on top of it, get a tier 1 tower on the bottom lane, so their economy continues to just grow. You have a Bloodseeker who's near the top. The next closest 4 Anchors is nearly a 4K net worth on your Shadow Fiend, so they are just way in behind at this early in the game.
Yep. It's not over yet, though. Only 1 tower down. We're 9 minutes in. There is still plenty of room for recovery. As long as HR keep up this momentum, though, it will be difficult for 4ASC. Mechs will also be an issue this game. If HR can get one out pretty soon here, that'll give him a big 5v5 edge, depending on who wants to build it for the 4 Anchors. Dread still hasn't really shown us what he wants to go for here. If that will be a fast pipe, if it will be a mech with tranquils, with a casual cloak. A very open-ended set of items here in this inventory of the Jakiro.
Oh, gonna get our first pause, unfortunately, of the game. Maybe just a bit of lag or something on the side of HR, but yeah. Oh, man. So at least they're gonna get some farm up, it looks like, for Nemphy on the side. We saw last game going with the early Blink Dagger. This game going with the early mech. It's obvious that they're already getting a dish of huge harassment. If they can withstand that first blast of aggression coming out from HR, and a mech could help that, maybe they can look to turn things around thereafter. But look at this. Smoke already on the move. HR looking to converge. Valix from behind thinks he got a safe blast, but uh-oh, Trouble's right there behind. They're trying to make it go on Dread, but this trap has been sprung, and Valix is going to get hit with the coil. Tries to go for the snap, but he's not going to be going anywhere. He's soon to drop, and, well, they are also going to be looking to take down potentially the Shadow Fiend. Orb flies out. Godam could go down and become a man. No, he's going to make it away just fine. And with that, they get Shadow Fiend. Oh, this is a continued disaster, unfortunately, for the 4 anchors. Oh, a rupture to fly. Matama Man goes down.
No.
3 to 12.
They're getting low, though. Is there any way the 4 anchors can turn this around? Boogie with a stun. They're all on such low HP. Trixie also low, just playing a little ring around the Rosie. Now Volix back in, trying to queue up the blast. Gets a kill onto the Jakiro. And the puck ends up falling. Buyback from Afa Ninja. Why did he buy back?
I don't know.
That was a really weird fight.
I'm surprised, like, maybe even Trixie didn't buy back just to go for a quick rocket snipe on someone like Goddamn just to get the kill.
Yeah.
I thought the buyback was going to be on the side of 4 acres, but
so looking at that recap,
kind of.
That's like, it was a 5 for 2. All 5 of 4 ASC ended up dying at some point, but with the buyback on puck, it ends up being about a break even on net worth trade. So HR could have had a pretty big payday there, and a lot of it ends up getting tossed away. Even though it's a full team wipe, dare I say that wasn't too bad for 4ASC? If Ever Spirit had been able to kill that Undying, that would have been completely different. Got him was 1 hit from death, got off that 1 soul rip on the 24-second cooldown that just barely kept him alive. And after that, it was all just bad news for the 4 anchors.
Lane, no. Trixie, nice hook connect onto Goddamn. He's going to be stuck in the battery assault dance. Looks like he'll go down, gets help from the Illuminate Blast. But hey, Dread shows up. Nice ice path, tries to get the heal, but not going to be going anywhere because the stuns are already committed. He's happily able to TP away, but Boogie, he is in enemy territory here. Oh, he didn't jaunt forward. He actually only silenced himself. Blinks on ahead, but doesn't matter. Roman shows up, gets a snowball. Bit of an awkward play there for Apo Ninja, but nonetheless, they get their target.
Yep, they get the counter kill. He forces out a Dream Coil. I guess that's something that Boogie was able to do there. Puck probably could have just finished him off if he had jaunted to the orb, but it's a pretty short cooldown. Now we'll see a fight break out in the top lane. Boggs gets dove behind the tower, brought down very quickly. Trixie will just drop some power cogs and head back to safety as the tower is forfeit. Dread will grab the last hit on the tower with that liquid fire on the Jakiro. And he is indeed going for the pipe, rushing the Hood of Defiance, headdress is out, and very close to that recipe. So it seems HR will just try to commence the 5-man kind of death ball once that item comes out, and that makes sieging these Tier 2 towers a lot easier.
At that moment, Justin Noob tried to make a go into Shadow Fiend with a Rupture, but he was able to TP away. But now he's got a Yule, so that won't be the same story next time. But top lane, they're making a go. Trixie got to get silenced up here from Apo Ninja. Ball on 4 with the shard set up. It looks like the clockwork is going to be put into a bucket of rust at this point. HR still continuing their momentum swing here. Now going for the Tier 2. Now, Spirit Form Blast trying to keep him back in FA, but they continue to dive here. Boogie going to be taken apart. Justin Noob now dominating on this Bloodseeker. Nemphy trying to do something, sniping with the blast, but it's not going to be enough. This is the game plan that clearly HR had put in motion, and it seems to be working out very nicely for them. 4 anchors, you'd think.
Yeah.
They'd be able to defend, but it's just not there.
No, this is some great high-octane Dota. This offlane of Jakiro Undying really crippled Matumba Man early on, and now he just has phase boost. That is not much for 13 minutes in. We'll see a hook shot connect onto the Jakiro. They're going to try to follow for some kills, and this could be a disaster the other way. They do get the burn, but now they lose Clockwork. Matumba Man as well. Another Dream Coil deployed, and they could also get Volix. He's on the run, and nobody to close the gap. 2 for 1. I guess a decent trade for 4ASC, all things considered, but they were certainly hoping for more.
Yeah, it doesn't make it good if you jump in and get a kill only to lose a couple, and that's a couple of your cores at that. And we all know Ember Spirit is usually at his worst when he does not have a good start. This is not a good start. 1, 4, and 2 on your Ember. He's been in a struggle, nowhere to farm, nowhere to hide. And when he commits to any sort of kill, he either comes up a bit short or ends up losing his own life in the process. And Valeg's here, just trying to push out this lane, already overstepping his boundaries.
Nice fissure.
Might be gone too far, but yeah, nice fissure save. Puck not committing, but hey, look at this. Matumba Man will jumps back, forgot him. He's going to be committing the tombstone here. Can he get healed up? He will, but the soul rip not going to be enough to stop that. So they get the 1, jump back in a way. Looks like Afro Ninja will be saved, but here comes Just a Noob charging on forward here. Decides to double back, moves in, gets the rupture. It's going to be on the Nemphy, locks himself in place, dishes out the Requiem. Actually, pretty good damage here onto Just a Noob. He's going to get clipped with the Illuminate, brings him down pretty damn low.
Oh.
Okay, double jump forward. Oh, not enough. Can't quite get him. The Puck's going to say, I gotta go.
Clockwork gets it.
But does he snipe him with a rocket? Oh, man, what a connection from Trixie. He is going to get hit in the jaw with a nice little uppercut from Roman, but they will double back in a way. Is this the start of the crawlback for 4 Anchors?
It feels like it. They get a 3-0 there. The Undying, the Jakiro, as well as the Bloodseeker in these really spread out fights, but they come out huge. It's about a 3K net worth difference coming out of that fight, and that will make a dent into this graph. It was nearly a 10K gold lead for HR, and that is soon to be halved as 4ASC defend their Tier 2 tower and get some momentum. Matumba Man, most notably, really benefiting a lot from this. Now RMN, he goes in a little too deep. One more from Matumba Man. Might get him. He's got a Remnant here. Is he going to go for it? He does, and he secures the kill. That's a dominating streak ended. All of a sudden, Matumba Man with 1,500 gold to throw around.
Okay, we suddenly have a Dota game on our hands. This is what started as a Hellraisers just non-stop brawl, but maybe they just kind of hung around too long on that top lane. Now we see 4 Anchors, they're getting their level 6s, they're getting some levels, and now they're getting money to get those items. And you get a Keeper of the Light with an Agnum Scepter, you get an Ember Spirit now who's going to be getting his first Battle Fury. The mech had already been done from Nemphy, and you can see how it's all working out nicely. But Hellraisers, they're persistent. They're not going to allow 4 Anchors to get that chance. They already smoke up, and they're going to go back on the offensive.
I think that it would be wise for them just to take a minute here and let Jakiro finish up that pipe. He's been so close, and those last 2 deaths have stopped him from actually completing the item, and that will make these team fights just infinitely easier for HR. We'll see again that Jakiro gets jumped on up top by Dread. They hop into a snowball, and on the other side of it, they jump onto Nemphy. Multiple fights breaking out here. Looks like Nemphy will probably die in the jungle. Pops the Yules on the other side. Matumba Man does TP out. He'll be able to live. Requiem from Nemphy to death. Requiem gets him a kill on the Tusk. All things considered, not too bad for 4ASC. Their Ember Spirit lives, and they will go
Hook.
1 for 1.
Got him. He's going to get a kill. This will make it a worthy trade for 4 Anchors.
There you go.
Nice catch right there from Trixie, man. He has been the cleanup man, the janitor right now. Walking on forward towards Dread, but no, he does not have the stopping power. Not quite yet. Get some extra mana resource, of course, from Valeg's, but they continue to hold themselves a bit more. Look at this. Jump on forward. Look at the connection onto Dread. They got it. They might be able to get this dragon.
Things are falling apart here for HR. Matumba Man scoots across the silence, but now he's in deep. He gets hit by the waning riff of Afro Ninja. Power Cog, strap him inside. That's not what you wanted to do there. Trixie, down goes the Ember Spirit. Trixie pops the Blade Mail. He'll go blow for blow with the puck. Snowball into nowhere. I don't think Trixie will survive to tell the tale of this one. Support on the way, but won't get here in time. Walrus Punch will finish him off. And that slight overcommitment there will cost them as HR pick up a series of kills and regain some of that lost footing.
I think they're going to just keep charging down this top lane. That was a bit sketchy there for a while. 4 Anchors were just stringing together comeback kill after comeback kill.
Yeah.
But they're going to try their damnedest to keep Hellraisers slow.
Look at this warding,
nice
too.
blast coming out.
Super
yeah, they're
aggressive.
just making sure they have vision all over the place.
This is dire vision we're looking at here, folks, and it extends all the way into the base where Volix is safe at the Tier 3. This is a very key bit of vision for a fight in this kind of an area.
Uh-oh. That Dagon already being shown off here. Gets a quick snipe on the Matumba Man. A couple of blasts do fly out. Wounds them quite a bit here. And they're just going to decide to step out. Or not. Afro Ninja cancels his TP. He's got no mana to work with.
Oh, Trixie gets the kill on the Bloodseeker with the Blade Mail. Beautifully done as the Bloodright connects on him. Smart TP in as RMN throws the Walrus Punch out on the Boogie. On the other side of it, Ninja is going deep. It's a multiple little skirmishes here as Ninja tries to finish off Volix. May just be able to do it. Phase shifts the Blinding Light, but does get the kill in rather deep. We'll check the other side of it here as they've already killed the Tusk. Trixie found the kill there. The rest of HR on the back foot as they do make it back past the totem. Ninja does not get punished as he moves through the Radiant jungle. So a very sporadic and spread out fight, but it ends as a 1-for-2 trade with the Radiant side finding the advantage once more.
This game is ridiculous. We're looking at, what, 40 kills before 20 minutes?
It really is.
These guys are just happy to dive. And, my God, if he did not shift that Blinding Light, that would have been very different. Good heads-up play from Ninja on that one. And I thought that was a bit awkward. It looked like HR made the call to leave, but then they decided to stay back and fight. Even though they didn't quite have the mana and the resources to continue, they somehow made it work. Now they're going to put their attention finally elsewhere. They've been working with that top lane so damn long. They finally get the tier 2 down, and it looks like their next target is going to be the bottom. They're just going to continue to take these structures and these objectives until the GG comes out from 4 anchors.
Yeah, I like this build from Puck here. Actually just leveling up the Dagon now that he's got the blink. There's a level 3 recipe coming on Lake Courier here. So big burst damage, and that's a way to help deal with this underfarmed Ember Spirit. Speaking of the Devil, he'll get set up on up top, but he makes it out. That was a close call. Had a Fire Remnant down and will live.
Bottom lane, Trixie looking to scout. Has the hook shot, but not going to be diving forward for anything quite yet. So we might see our first calming period, Andrew, of this game.
Yeah.
Where Hellraisers decide to step back and actually consider farming the jungle, farming some newts, farming something outside of heroes and trying to farm heroes.
Almost forgot about the neutrals for a moment there. Boogie is now level 6. That's a key pickup. Just recently hit it and got that Echo Slam. He does have 1,600 gold as well. That Blink Dagger right on the horizon here. If they can take another fight or a couple of pickoffs, he could very well have it. Dread set up on Nemphy, wraps around the backside. Tombstone comes out as Undying was hiding nearby, but Nemphy debuts that 10-second BKB. Not even Pipe will be enough to keep the Jakiro alive. It is the Shadow Fiend that gets credit for that one. Echo Slam was also utilized. They finish off the Tombstone there. That's a nice bounty going the way of Nemphy as the hook shot across. Does set up some cogs, but goddamn not locked inside. Less than ideal there from Trixie, but it still will be a 1-for-0 exchange as Matumba Man, front lines, connects with Searing Chains on 2, and then very quickly hops back, Fissure to block them out, continuing to play very defensively here.
They might not want to get back. Puck is finally starting to show up, and with that comes a Soon Coil and a big Dagon Burst. So it looks like 4 anchors not going to overstay this kind of defense. Or will they? Oof, Ward. Boogie could pay for it. There's going to be the coil. Now they are going to get him with the chains, but Boogie barely alive. No! It's going to snap, and they got the kill.
Oh,
I don't
my.
think he had much of an option there. Eventually, Roman would have showed up and got him with either shards or a snowball, but...
Yeah, he was pretty dead. Did that Blinding Light actually hit the puck, or did he phase shift it again? I said no because I thought he was Blinding Lighted. I was like, I think you should just roll the dice on that one. The tether is definitely going to break you. Puck has a pretty high chance to miss there, but regardless, it will be a successful kill for HR. They will dive this tower. Hook shot from Trixie punishes the Tusk that goes in just a little bit too deep. Now Trixie gets the Blade Mail off. They do a lot of damage to him, but he returns some BKB from the Bloodseeker will keep him safe. The puck gets picked off around the side, though. That's an unstoppable streak ended. They'll lose their Earthshaker. And the Shadow Fiend, he got a tier 1 tower up top. He's not in this fight. He's just split pushing. He's going for a tier 2 in the top lane. Dire have a glyph. They may utilize it and go back for a defense. But 2 towers after that fight. No, okay, they will repel Nemphy. Well, 2 for 2. 4 ASC, get a tower out of it. They also lose the tier 2 bottom. If they can continue to plateau this game, I think they're in good shape. And, well, Dakota, that's exactly what they're doing, as now Volix gets the valued Aghanim Scepter pickup. This is now a different game.
Yeah, I'm still not convinced this is just HR's game to lose. I think that even when I'm playing Keeper in my scrub games, it's just like, pick for late game, guys. You know, we might be losing our towers, we're probably going to lose all of our outer structures, but what we got is great high ground defense, and especially now with the tool of having an Ags on your coddle. You can continuously, safely keep lanes back and at bay without, you know, committing himself for the full charging duration. So he has really good high ground defense at this point. If they could stall things out as long as possible, maybe on the back of a Shadow Fiend and an Ember Spirit, they could bring this game back. But if that's the case, we're going to be in for possibly a long match. Now, if it's Hellraisers, say, they'll get a couple more picks, good grabs, there'll be no buyback, and they'll be able to breach into the high ground and not have to worry about that high ground defense. But it's very scary. Boogie, Earthshaker will eventually get a blink. He has a blink.
He's got it.
So, blink dunk. the Coddle Blast, Requiem, and in continued, sleight of fists, this is not going to be an easy base to breach.
Yep, and this Shadow Fiend is getting big and bad. He's got his core kit now. Oh, that thought, though, has got him. Walked into the wrong place at the wrong time. Searing Chain set up for a nice Requiem of Souls. Brings got him low, but Glimmer Cape will keep him alive for now. On the other side of it, Ninja hops in, bursts down the Earthshaker before he can do anything, but the Tusk will die simultaneously after getting out the Walrus Punch. Now Nemphy without a BKB. Dream Coil. Out comes the Blood Right. Nemphy will fall. The Death Requiem does next to nothing. It's a 1 for 2 already as 4ASC try to retreat. Coddle, he'll try to TP home, but will get interrupted by the Yules. Trixie able to force staff back to safety. Another disastrous fight for 4ASC will yield a 3-for-1 exchange, and HR once again coming out on top.
Yeah, well, if HR take fights like that, and they're not even far from 4-ranker's side, then they can follow it up with good objectives, and possibly even double back for a Roche if they really want to here. So we'll see what the call is going to be. But Tumbleman bottom seems to be the call. He gets instantly bursted down, right clicks, and this long auto attack should not connect. It does! What? Oh no!
Dude, that auto attack was going one way and then just made the loop-de-loop right turn right back at him. That was
missile. What was that? Oh my god.
Well, a close call there from a Tumbaman. Puck is pretty ridiculous when you don't have that Flame Guard on. That's just how quickly it can bring him down. He did manage to buy the broadsword before he died, though, so the Battle Fury is on the horizon, now just a Perseverance away. And as always, that is a big turning point for Ember Spirits. Not only as a farming tool, but for that team fight power. Roche under assault by the Dire side, but lacking some minus armor. They can't really do it so quickly. Trixie will be on point with the rocket to scout it out, and that will repel HR from the Roche pit. However, it will not repel Puck from upgrading that Dagon to the dreaded level 5, now an 800 magic damage burst. Ready to rock and roll some lucky charge.
Nice thing also for 4-Anchors, great map vision, especially during daytime with this Coddle Ags now, plus they have the rocket on top of it. It's not easy for HR to commit to a Roche unless they're certain they can get away with it. Yes. Otherwise, you can have a blinding light, shove people up to the high ground to get them out. A jumping clockwork could snag up the Aegis. It's just a bit too risky in a game like this that's very fragile. But Boogie now with an Invis, looking to scout out the enemy territory here. There's just a noob nearby, also close. Nemphy on his Shadow Fiend here. Does have Blink if they can find an engagement. Looks like going to go for top. Whoa. Jump in, Echo, but the shift. They had to cancel out the Requiem. Puck is out of there. Are they going to make him pay for this one? Boogie thinks he can find a corner to get away from, but he has no TP. Looks like he's going to have to pay the price.
That was so unfortunate. Great reactions there from Ninja. Just instantly jaunting out with the phase shift. Perfectly done, and he does live to tell the tale. Trixie, though, gets a big item pickup of his own. That is an Aghanim Scepter, so now there will be hook shots aplenty with that ultra-short cooldown as Ember Spirit continues to farm towards the Battle Fury, getting some space in the bottom lane. RMN comes down to try and push him back. Speaking of interesting item pickups, this is a Mech Tusk coming out here. Another hero item pairing you don't see too often, but whoa, fight in the mid lane. Dread pops the Flesh Golem. Out comes the Tombstone. Nemphy channels the ulti, does some good damage, but will be forced back. The pipe keeping the Dire side safe. Nemphy loses his BKB, now silenced. Dagon, but Mech straight away will make up some of that lost footing, and the blink back to safety. No kill will come about.
Yep. And Hellraisers might try to make a push happen here in the mid lane, but it will be stopped here from your Illuminate Blast from Coddle, and Hellraisers just to disengage and maybe give another go at this Roche. And yeah, it looks like they'll step into the pit, but already a rocket to come from Trixie. Trying to be one step ahead. Dread's there. Could possibly intercept anything. Matama Man, though, is the one to actually intercept. Connects in, gets the chains, follow-up hook shot. Fissure block, keep everyone at bay. On the outside, Ninja easily jumps the hurdle. Goes on back, tries to dagger down a support, but can't quite finish what he started here. Now a congested fight to break out. Trixie caught in the middle of it. Blast flies, but it's not going to be enough. Your Clockwork going to go down. Same with Matumbo Man here. This is what they needed if they want to finish off this Roche easily, and it looks like that's what they're going to do.
That was really strange from 4ASC. That was a 4v5. The entire time, Nemphy was just farming in the top lane, had a TP, but only that tier 2 in the mid to teleport you to try and get in that fight. That was a beautiful setup from Trixie, though. He had the cogs right in this area, completely broke that fight into a 2+3 for HR. And I feel like if the Shadow Fiend was there, they could have really capitalized on that to bring down the Undying, the two that were isolated. But in a 4v5 scenario, even with those beautiful cogs,
they see him.
Didn't have the damage.
He's in trouble. They seem as in trouble. They could recall him. They could have recalled him in that fight as well, is also the note, not just in the TP, but I guess they didn't want to do that, but it will force out the BKB.
And that was
TP.
a 7-second BKB, so at this point, pretty close to 5, not a huge loss for Nymphy, but missed opportunities there for 4ASC if they had a little more of a cohesive position. And that will hand over the Roche, as you mentioned. It's the Bloodseeker that takes the Aegis. And HR will just head back to their side of the map with a pretty big gold lead. We're back up towards that 10,000 net worth and experience mark. Now where we were maybe 15 minutes ago, HR has regained all that momentum.
It's good. I'm still not sure if it's good enough to breach the high ground here of 4 anchors. They'll continue to do their damnedest to stall this game out. Feeling pretty confident in the late game potential they bring. They'll have to take some losses along the way, but unless Hellraisers get a lot more, which I'm sure they're going to look to go for here and being able to take advantage of this Aegis while they got it. Just continue to kind of theory craft what HR are going to be able to do to really breach into the base. They could pinch and poke and slow siege. You got Jakiro, who's, you know, back in the day was considered one of the best pushers you could ask for, so it's very easy to kind of step in and out with a quick liquid fire. But outside of that, you're just kind of bull rushing in there. You drop a tombstone, drop a Hail Mary, and just hope that Afo Ninja continues to do what he's done, and that's catch those backliners, those supports who are just trying to break in with a big Echo Slam or, you know, blast them down, blinding light them or anything. It's a lot of pressure on Hellraisers to break through the fortification.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not just the Coddle. He is one of the key facets, but even Ember Spirit, an amazing high ground holder because of the Sleight of Fist. You can just clear out those creeps so easily once you have the Battle Fury, and usually when they're knocking on your high ground front door, you've got that Battle Fury out. He's only a few hundred gold away now. On top of that, you've got an Earthshaker. He can literally block the way with a Fissure, Blink, Echo, pretty good way to clear out creeps when you have all that momentum, and even Clockwork, great initiation from the high ground. So this will be very difficult for the Dire side, despite being very far ahead to actually get to that high ground. Trixie trying to isolate got him, but Glimmer Cape will be all the Undying needs to stay alive. Trixie getting recalled here. Will pop his Blade Mail just for good measure. Boogie, uh-oh, he gets left behind though. There's not another recall here. Okay, Fissure, that'll keep him safe.
I thought they probably just pulled back once they noticed that Trixie made it out, but if they kept charging forward, they would have been welcome with an easy boogie pick. But
Matumba, man.
Huge stack there.
Just juiced by Afo Ninja, man. This was the perfect build for this game. They are constantly picking on this Ember Spirit. He does now have the Battle Fury, though. He bought 2 Quelling Blades because he panicked and got scared, but that's okay. He's got the Perseverance. That's what's important.
2 Quelling Blades. It's first for everything, I suppose. Well,
it's all good.
He gets what it's important.
Yep.
He'll hold back for now. His team should be able to kind of keep the Hellraisers push at bay in the meantime, and they'll just continue to farm up. And, you know, they've been very elusive as well, where 4 Acres think they can get an easy, quick side pick. They have their Glimmer Cape to save. They have their quick Blink Dagger. You have now Dread with his own Yules. And that mech that you already pointed out on Roman and his Tusk, which is unusual, but seems to be kind of doing them justice, at least for now. But they only have less than 2 minutes now for this Aegis. I'm curious to see if Hellraisers are going to put the pedal to the metal on making something happen.
Yeah. I feel like HR 100% needed a mech this game, but you have 2 pretty good mech carriers, both Undying and Jakiro. Are pretty good with that item here. Up top, Boogie getting juiced by the puck, but mech from Nymphy, that'll keep him alive. Can he actually live here? The slam, they'll keep Afo Ninja stun locked, but no! The Shaker still falls. Nymphy does end the streak. That's huge. Meanwhile, on the other side, it's HR coming out big on this fight. They get the Clockwork to get things started, but now Big Bad Nymphy's here. BKB, no Requiem, but he'll start lobbing those auto attacks. Dread will not live. Raze finishes him off. RNM gets isolated in the coffin corner. He gets killed as well. The tombstone comes down, but does it even matter at this point? Bollocks will fall to just a noob. He does still have the Aegis of the Immortal. Nymphy finally finishes it off. Now we see the power of that tombstone. The Undying Zombies keeping Nymphy super slow. Matumba Man helping to clear him up. Will keep the Shadow Fiend alive, and it's a high ground hold from 4ASC. Not a bad one at that.
Yeah, no, I think that's very good for 4 Anchors. They hold, they rid of the Aegis, they get what they need done, they claim an extra bounty or so, and I think they're in good pace here to continue to hold. And double Quelling Blade, double wards here for Hellraisers on the bottom. They're even pinging it out. Spastic wards, unfortunately, coming out. Yeah, Spastic Quellings, but a big stack here now for Matumba Man to farm up, play this catch-up game.
So let's see how much gold he gets out of this. He's got 1,000 gold in the inventory before this big old fatty stack here. Looks like double set of Drakes, and some Thunder Hides. Not the biggest stack ever, but oh yeah, that's some of that juicy income much needed here for him. This will be at least like 700 gold or so. Yeah, there you go, 1750. So all of a sudden, this Ember Spirit is alive and well in this game, catching up with the Jakiro in terms of farm, and can now really do damage in these team fights. As for ASC, pick up a gem on the Keeper of the Light.
So good on the Keeper of the Light, especially now daytime with that day vision. You're just going to rid of anything, and he hasn't come across the wards quite yet. Preemptively timing out and keeping these pushes back. There's one across on the other side, and then obviously those two that are kind of stuck together on the bottom.
Maybe this will work out. He'll come up here, see this one, take it out, and I don't think there's any way you don't see the second one. Yeah, that's a bummer. Nemphy, though, he has a full Eye of Scotty on this Shadow Fiend. He is pretty big. 2600 HP. He'll move into this tier 1 tower bottom. HR come to its defense, and boy, do they. 2 TPs straight away with Gotham rotating down. They want to punish this Shadow Fiend. Nemphy gets a little scared here. Will BKB as he gets recalled. And he will live. BKB on cooldown for 50 seconds, but no harm done.
This is feeling pretty good for 4 Anchors, I'm not going to lie. They continue to keep these pushes out. Now they're starting to evade what was once Hellraisers just kind of on a tirade, catching anything they want. Now they're actually starting to slip away from them a bit. And they'll just continue to add pressure and farm the other side of the world where Hellraisers are. It's apparent that 4 Anchors are not ready yet to make a confrontation with Hellraisers in a team fight. They're going to wait till the fight is ready. They're going to wait for the fight that they want to take. And for now, it's only when there's a high ground kind of defense.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, you talked about this yesterday with the longer a game goes on, the more irrelevant the net worth and XP graphs are. And I think this game is a great example of that. HR still ahead by 10,000 gold, about 14,000 experience. That's a pretty good bump, but they still can't really take a straight 5v5 fight. They still can't really break the high ground. And that's because for ASC, well, they've got the carry advantage. And 35 minutes in, this is when the hard carries start to really come online and get scary. And HR need to do everything they can to continue slowing them down and try to end this game sooner rather than later. At this stage, it's just going to get more difficult. Trixie will get Dream Coiled, but TP's out. After the Dream Coil comes the Tether Snap, kills him in the well. Oh my, we've seen that happen a time or two, but unfortunate for Trixie.
19-3 on this puck. Are you kidding me? And apparently, statistic-wise, he's going for the record of most kills in esportal. Right now, tied at 19 with Resolution for second. Weehaw has 22 at the top. He's just doing so much work as puck this game.
Dagons will do that. And as we talked about, it's just the perfect game for it. Gets you momentum, lets you burst people down. We're getting to that stage, though, where that burst damage is starting to fall off a little bit, and Ninja can't quite get those same kills that he could before. I mean, that kill on Clockwork there, it's about as close as it gets. He used the Dream Coil a little bit too early. One less auto attack there, and Trixie lives, I think. What's Trixie doing with that Ring of Health? I wonder what he's working on next.
Lincoln's, maybe?
Lincoln's could be good. Just put the Lincolns on the Ember Spirit so he can't get Dagoned, or put it on the Shadow Fiend. I think that could work.
Mid lane, Valix, what are you doing? Sitting there idling.
Whoa.
And it's another kill. Ninja, now 20-3.
Uh-oh, now up top, Dread could find himself in a world of hurt. There's about to be a sandwich here. Boogie on one side, Nemphy on the other. Sets it up with the Echo. Follow-up stuns. Nemphy using the BKB for good measure. Yules buys Dread a little bit of time, but will not allow him to survive here. Trixie again trying to TP home. Just the noob hoping for a bash with that newly fashioned Skull Basher. Can't quite get it, and the Clockwork will live. So 1 for 1 around the map. 2 supports getting taken out.
Jules was on cooldown as well, obviously, so Bloodseeker not able to stop that TP, but they're going for the push on the mid lane. This tier 2 should be easily taken down. They're not going to follow it up with any sort of high ground push quite yet. That's where the real test comes. Now all tier 2s have been wiped out. No more outer towers stand here for 4 Anchors. It's all about that strong, tough, high ground defense we've been talking about before. And if it's going to be enough to prolong this game another, I don't know. How long do you think it would take for 4 Anchors to get to a point when they could just out-muscle Hellraisers?
Honestly, not that long. I would say 10 to 15 minutes. It sort of depends on how aggressive HR chooses to be, but I think if 4ASC win one fight convincingly, like a 4 for 1 or a 4 for 0, that's when HR is going to be in big trouble. And this could be the beginning of it here. Got him. Gets initiated on by Matumba Man. Tombstone will come out, and he'll just retreat. So it's a little love tap, but think 4ASC are kind of on the cusp. They've kept this pretty plateaued. Ember Spirit very close to his second Battle Fury, just 300 gold away. He's going to become difficult to deal with. Valix, well, he's still easy to deal with, but that hurts. Yeah, maybe
that was
just
a wonderful ice shard from Roman, by the way, that got him trapped in that kind of odd situation. And now they move forward. They get a Yules and Ice Pass setup. They're going to get Trixie as well. They're not going to have a high ground defense if you're trying to fight without a buyback. But Nephi jumps in, gets the kill onto Roman with that Requiem. But now he's going to get bashed up, knocked down from the Ice Path. Matamaman trying to help out with the Sleight of Fist. Dread barely inching away with his life. And look at this. He can't overextend. He's going to get silenced up. Does that one more Sleight of Fist, and
they still can't break the high ground, though. It's a 4v2 on the field. No buybacks available. Well, the Shadow Fiend has a buyback, but none on the Clockwork. And HR is still just looking to push the lane in and check out their options, and they just can't do it. The Ember Spirit alone is able to clear out this creep wave so quickly that they just don't have any options. Look at this tier 1 or tier 3 tower in the mid lane. It's still above 1500 HP. They can't even get up to slow siege it because the Jakiro is not here.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Boy.
This is getting tough.
Okay, got him. Glimmer capes in to get a ward down. This is good. I mean, it's viable for high ground. That's going to be hard to push. Any sort of extra intel you can get is
that's huge.
Certainly worth it.
Yeah.
And they don't have that gem anymore, so they don't see it.
Who has it now? Alpha Ninja. Yeah, it was the Coddle that was carrying it, so hand it over to the side of HR. And Puck now moving into some mobility. Does pick up the Aghanim Scepter. The coil's been a pretty key part of this game, and now you've got these huge stun potentials.
They saw it. That ward saw this smoke.
Oh,
so they know what's happening.
God. Now, Roche is up, and I was thinking perhaps that HR were looking to wait out the next Roche before breaking the high ground, but that doesn't even seem to be the case. They could have done it before that last fight, but they still went for it. They'll group up at the bottom tier 1, maybe thinking about it now, but rocket after rocket coming in from Trixie. I think 4ASC will 100% contest this if they find HR moving into the Roche pit.
They got the inkling from that there was a ward. They quickly rid of it. Still one more up to the north side, giving them a little bit of extra vision, but now's the time HR...
They're not going to be able to contest.
Should be able to get it.
The Solar Crest
easily.
is just too much here, dude. That's all they need, minus armor-wise, and Roche just melts.
Yep. I think 4 anchors just need to get the little bits of farm while they can. Don't get caught out outside the base and just hold the high ground. And for Hellraisers, now you have an Aegis on your side. You hope you could find those pickoffs. Just even the one pickoff might be enough for you to breach this strong defense.
Yeah, Bloodseeker also went for an Assault Kuros now, as well as an Abyssal Blade. So has a big bout of lockdown, and that minus armor will help in sieging these structures. You can tell that HR really want to try to end this game, and if they can win a team fight, just do as much damage to the base as possible.
We'll see, though. This is a very tension kind of a game. It's 24-44. It feels a lot more even than that. Still just as bloody as every other game has been this esportal so far.
And Coddle bought a new gem. So there is a gem on both sides. They cleared out the ward that was in the base that ruined their last smoke. Important to note before this fight breaks out. Yeah, that too.
That's the other thing, is HR should wait till nighttime before they push.
Yep.
But right now, they're just going to have to hope, because that heal is huge. A 500 heal, that comes out every few moments. You got to also factor in the cooldown reduction from the Chakra Magic. Uh-oh, Matamaman. He walked past a ward that they don't know about yet. He better hope he can remnant fast.
Does he have one down? He's got to somewhere. There's one in the base. Uh-oh. That was a pretty quick reaction there from Matamaman. Hook shot in, connects on I'm Just a Noob. He's the Aegis carrier, but they make it a free Aegis of the Immortal out of this. Whoa, what a play with the Ember Spirit in the top lane. HR can't get back fast enough, and that is an Aegis in exchange for a Fire Remnant, a trade that Matamaman will take all day, every day.
Yep, that was a tool that HR really wanted to have if they wanted to try to siege into this high ground, and now that's been thwarted. You kind of second guess what their options are going to be.
Yeah.
Wait till nighttime maybe and just hope, but for now it's not happening. This is where we might be stuck at almost a stalemate for the next period of time.
Well,
I don't know how long that could be, though.
4ASC disagree with you, my friend. They're smoking out of this base. They're going to make something happen here. But can they actually do it?
They show Trixie bottom lane, and they see a zombie. We're gonna get goddamn down. He might get dropped, tries to walk away with the Glimmer Cape, but they got the gem to scout him out. Dread looks to move in to help out, but he's also gonna risk his own life. Jules is gonna stall things out, and I think Hellraisers have to accept the fact that they're gonna be losing too. Nemphy scores the double kill. Look at this, 4 anchors still showing that they are well in this game, regardless of what you see on the map.
Yep, the kill score can be very deceiving when one team has lopsided carries like this, and now Shadow Fiend is a monster. He has the Talisman of Evasion and 3,500 gold, so that butterfly is right around the corner, and looking at the inventories of the Dire side, they've got nothing to deal with. There's no break, no silver edge, and that will be a difficult item for them to deal with, I think, suffice it to say. You look at the gold graph, and it's still huge for HR, just for a point of comparison. 14k net worth, and they still can't break the high ground or really take a fight with 4ASC. It almost feels like 4ASC are the ones that far ahead based on how aggressive they're positioned on the map right now. They'll get a ward down, double sentry here just for good measure, and get some vision of their own.
Good aggro vision gives them an idea as far as Hellraisers on what their commitments are, if they have someone back in jungling, or if they're maybe even an early smoke movement. They'll take whatever they can get. Right now, seeing Apple Ninja charge on through with his own gem, and will quickly clear out those wards. They didn't get to live very long, but they're going to be taken care of here. I don't know, man. This all comes down to proper execution. 4 acres can't get too over anxious. Just continue to play this slow game, and that's the same for Hellraisers. Have to wait for that right window of opportunity to either find a solo pick and follow through, or just kind of
talk about recovery, though, from a Tumba Man. He's now got his double Battle Furies and 3,500 gold, so I reckon a Daedalus should be around the corner here. And this is where Ember Spirit is just a real threat around the map. It's one of these heroes that scales... One of the best heroes that scales with items. Of course, all carries scale well, but he is one of the best in terms of picking up a rapier. So if they can turtle this to super late game, there is some potential there. Up top, almost.
Apo Ninja thought he had a chance to make a go onto Matama Man. Laid out everything, a good silence and a good dream coil, but thankfully the bodyguard, Trixie, shows up, gets a good hook shot.
Yeah.
Sets enough time for Matama to make a quick escape.
Alright, they set up onto Trixie. He's already been recalled, does manage to get off the blade mail, force staff to the high ground. Nice heads-up play there, and he will live. Again, HR thwarted in their efforts. Man, my oh my. I mean, maybe the Dire can try to wait out the next Roche, go for Aegis and Cheese, but that's still a long ways off. We won't even see the timer for another few minutes here. Meanwhile, Trixie hook shots out of the base, connects onto Roman, takes a Walrus punch, but it's not going to make a lick of difference. Nemphy just lobbing in those snowballs, and we'll finish off Tusk. Looks like he wins the snowball fight this go-around.
Yep. Butterfly will help that. 2k gold also on top. Goddamn, he wants to get that ward down again. Some sort of aggro ward to see that if the Roche does come up, they can see if 4 anchors are already on the move or try to do another smoke or anything. They can safely get that Aegis or not. Oof, Trixie trying to go for a valiant hook shot there. Not going to be catching. Maybe anticipating that they might be going for a high ground ward, but that's not the case.
Yep, that's the great thing about the Ags. He can just throw out these, go fishing with the hook shots, see if anyone's nearby, and look for some kill setups. Dread up on the high ground, looking for some neutrals perhaps, but not quite going to find them. Interesting little play there. And what does the Bloodseeker move into next? Sitting on 2,800 gold, haven't seen any item progression there since the Abyssal and Assault Cuirass.
Does he have to get an MKB to deal with this butterfly?
He's actually got both javelins on the courier, so this is an MKB on the way. He actually has the gold for it. So
alright, that's good.
Now something
they need some way to break through Nemphy.
Yeah. I don't know how many right clicks this Bloodseeker will be able to get off, though. He has 5-second BKB. He's got to do a lot in those 5 seconds when he's facing that Shadow Fiend.
And you have like a blinding light that could be coming in. Alex just simply has to wait out the BKB, drop one blinding light, and he's not going to be connecting with any right clicks at all. And he'll be very disoriented, and Nemphy can easily just chuck down his own bits of damage from afar, not having to worry about kind of
once you have MKB, the blinding light doesn't make any difference.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about it.
For a moment there, I was like, wait a second. Did they buff blinding light? Once you get an Ags, does it go through BKB? Because that would be broken. Oh, my. Yeah, so still a good tool here. It's good just against the upgraded Coddle in general, but I don't know. I still worry that it may not be enough. Hero just an ultimate orb here. Went into a Yule's. Any other big item progression? Puck got a Scythe of Ice. Something. And Matumba Man does have the Crystallis, so there will be a Daedalus on the way, and he is damn close with 4,400 gold. Probably wanting to pool for buyback before he invests in his next big item pickup.
Double damage.
Just in case.
It was a DD bottom. I thought Ember was going to be the one to take it. They're going to go for Nemphy in the meantime, jumping towards the mid lane to get a quick sheep off. Try to even commit a Tombstone for this, but they don't push too far for it. Not even committing the Rupture or anything quite yet. Matumba Man dancing with them from the right-hand side. They're going to do a little bit of a Delta split here.
I think it was the right play to be very cautious there if you're HR. You look at their vision, they have one ward. It's this little guy here. Everyone's missing off the map. You get an initiation like that, you can roll the dice and go all in and try to kill the Shadow Fiend before his friends get there, or you can play it safe and wait for a day when you have a little more vision of where his teammates might be. So a good attempt, but I think maybe even better that they didn't really go on it. Now RMN, hook shot from Trixie. Will try to go on him here, and Will interrupted with that battery assault as RMN tries to TP home, but Trixie could get turned around on. Out comes the macro pyre from Dread, but it's Matumba Man. Hook shot back to his friends. Trixie barely lives. Now Matumba Man isolated, but Nemphy sets up a huge Requiem. Big damage after the Fissure comes out. Matumba Man hexed. He took the Dagon, but will still live. The heal from Coddle. It's daytime. Puck and Undying now in the grave. It's a bad fight for the Dire side. Sure, they'll get a consolation kill on the Embers, or pardon me, on the Earthshaker and the Shadow Fiend, but it's going to cost them their whole damn team. All 5 of HR headed right back to the grave from whence they came. The gem is on the ground, and 4ASC finally get the big fight they've been waiting for.
They should just go for Roche or something. Yeah, and they ping it out right now. That was a huge fight. Daytime is just so good. That big heal keeps Nemphy alive that much longer to dish out the big damage. What a huge Echo Slam as well. That went beautifully for 4 acres.
Yep.
With that, Hellraisers all out. They're going to move in. Are we going to see a buyback from Hellraisers to contest this? They can't really. The only ones available, Bloodseeker and Dread on his Jakiro.
Yeah,
they still even have a tier 1 they could TP to, but
I just don't think it's worth it. They need the whole team. It's an all or nothing kind of contest here. I guess there are still 2 dead. 4ASC actually won't commit for it. I guess without the Shadow Fiend, they don't have the damage to do it quickly enough. So that will be one thing going the way of HR following that fight, but this graph is starting to creep upwards. Here at the 51-minute mark, it is 4ASC taking over this game. 4,000 gold on the Ember Spirit, but this time he's got a full Daedalus on the Courier. Matumba Man is here, and he is doing damage. Tier 1 tower falls in the bottom lane. Whew.
Yeah, Matumba Man's going to only get better. The ceiling on an Ember Spirit is so freaking high, higher than anyone else in this game. They go from one tier 1, they're trying to do some damage onto this next one, but they don't want to overextend. I mean, technically they wanted to, they could have always bought back, recalled with Bow Legs, brought in the Shadow Fiend, and got the Roche, but that just shows that they're playing very reserved in this match. Just their first match here at esportal, they're taking it very serious.
Absolutely. Now, we need to take a moment here, maybe a good time to have a pause, because RMN, he's gone for the Aghanims, an item you almost never see on Tusk in competitive play. It does open up that Walrus Kick ability, so now he's upgraded from Rocky to a straight-up kickboxer. I'm trying to think if I've actually cast a game when I've seen someone utilize this upgrade, and I don't think that I have. Have you had the privilege of seeing what Walrus Kick is all about?
I mean, I've seen a little bit of it, but mostly people have been up in arms with the fact that it didn't do any damage.
Yeah,
it's all about positioning, which, hey, positioning is huge, especially in competitive games like this. It could make or break a whole game if you're able to kind of kick someone out and isolate them from the whole team, which is very important, I guess, when you're looking at from the side of Hellraisers that are just trying to break into a tough high ground defense. Tusk, even if he sacks himself, you know, kind of something similar to I do on my dirty Ebola Spirit once I get nags. You jump in there, you kick out a prize target, and even if you trade your own life for that one, you're able to kind of take the game over. And
yeah.
Maybe it's something he's looking to do here. But with no damage, you could also safely blink away. So it's a bit sketchy. I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it in practice here in an actual competitive game. I've seen it in a couple of my pub games, but that's, you know, not a fair comparison. So we'll keep an eye out for it for sure. Now, more big items have come out, and Trixie secures himself a Lotus Orb. Big pickup here, especially on a hero like Clockwork. He's going to be that front liner that you want to focus, and well, when that Lotus Orb is turned on, you're going to want to think twice about how many spells you dump on that guy. Another Scythe of Ice for the Dire side, also now in the hands of the Jakiro. So 2 hexes to try to catch somebody with good initiation. Also, the Ember Spirit, as we're doing rounds with items, he's gone for the BKB. So after going 3 hardcore damage items, he's upgraded that glass cannon into a slightly more fortified cannon with some magic immunity.
Pressure and a lot of tension now on this Roche. You see already Hellraisers eyeballing it here, feeling a bit more comfortable with their positioning. They start creeping in. But we'll see. Trixie continues. This rocket will scout it.
But can they get
Hellraisers
here in
have
time?
Lots of damage.
The Solar Crest makes a big difference. They have a lot of damage, and I think 4ASC will just let it go. They're not making a movement towards the pit. And there will be Aegis and Cheese for the dire side. HR have a sign of life here yet. 2 key components of a successful fight at this stage of the game.
This is such a timid game. We'll have to see. I think it just mostly comes down to Hellraisers maybe catching someone out from the side of 4 anchors, because I'm still not confident in their ability to break through a full 5-man grouping of 4 anchors defending their base. We'll have to see. But now with these additional tools, your Ags on Tusk even, maybe they could do something very crafty. Uh-oh. Tama Man gonna get scouted out here. Now, goddamn sees him. Tama Man gets kind of teased a bit. Almost thinks about making a go onto him, but quickly retreats, and that's the smart call.
Yeah, Hero was on his way in. Oh, hook shot. Okay, defensively there from Trixie. Got paranoid for a second.
Incoming!
So things pretty quiet, as you meant. Timid was the right word. Definitely not passive, but both sides now kind of on their side of the map, except Tusk, who's going in a little bit deep. Fissure almost clips him, but he does blink to safety. Both teams just waiting for the other to make a misstep, and now that Aegis and Cheese have been claimed, I think 4ASC will continue to stay defensive here and wait for HR to come to their territory where they can defend on the high ground. They'll certainly wait till daytime before they do anything too crazy.
Credit to Phage Guy for letting me know this is the 3rd Ags in pro play that's been completed on a Tusk, so I don't think anyone's really had the opportunity to see a lot of what it can do, and the other times was Moo on Root, and he lost with it, and then XZ on C-Deck in a win. So it's been a bit hit or miss.
Oh, wow.
We'll have to see if in
those
the hands
are 2
of Roman
very different examples.
Yeah.
China, and it's interesting that the 2 times have been in completely different regions. That's fascinating.
So the first time in Europe that it's been done, I guess, is what could be taken away from this. So I'm interested to see what they're going to do with it. Also, I don't know if it's been mentioned yet, Trixie had gotten that Lotus Orb, so what are we looking at as far as possible sendbacks as far as Lotus? Because you'd be surprised, in the heat of a huge battle, you might just overlook that Lotus Orb effect and casually throw out something onto a Clockwork who has just jumped your core.
Yeah.
The next thing you know, you're either Walrus punching yourself or sheeping yourself or doing something you are going to immediately regret thereafter.
It's almost less about hero spells and more about items in this game. You've got 2 Scythe of Vices, you've got a Dagon, you've got Rupture, there's a lot of, I mean, even an Abyssal Blade, you know, there's a lot of active items. I think it's a pretty good game for the Lotus Orb here, I have to admit. And you can't forget that it does dispel negative buffs when you apply it on somebody, so there is also that little reset tool that it brings to the table as well, aside from just the reflection. HR continuing to shove this bottom lane in towards the base, but they're not really making any signs of aggression towards the Radiant side. It did just roll over daytime, so probably not your ideal timing window to move towards the base, but they seem to really not be too afraid of the daytime.
I would say just kind of sit back and relax. This game could be going for a while. What a catch, though! It's Trixie getting a hold of Dread before he makes an escape. He locks him in place for the team to show up from the high ground. Roman seeing if he can help out Dread. He's going to commit for the snowball. Wait for Goddamn. No, he's not going to commit with him. He might just throw his own life away here.
No.
Roman's going to be going down. A 2-man drop. Oh, I don't think that was the snowball you were looking for, my friend. And now it's even going to be your Undying. God damn. He's going to go down. Double kill from the Tama Man. 4 anchors quickly move in and grab 3.
What a disaster. The perfect time for Trixie to make a play like that happen. Both Puck as well as the Bloodseeker used their boots of travel to go to the top lane to try to push that one in. As soon as they do, 4ASC find that fight, and it's essentially a 3v5. Trixie will hook shot across the jungle. Nice little play there just to see if there's anybody lingering around. No buyback on Jakiro or Undying. Tusk will have one. They still have the Cheese and the Aegis, and a little bit of split push here. HR head to the tier 3 in the top lane, and they will just BKB and TP out, just trying to pull 4ASC back to their base And it seems they will be successful on that front. The rest of 4ASC rotating over, going to try to catch this puck, but he does have BOTs as well as a blink. This will not be an easy hero to scout out, and alas, they will not be successful.
If he were closer, they would have. That unobstructed vision would have been able to see him, but he makes it on the nick of time. And though 4 Anchors managed to bring down 3, they don't really advance much further as far as just being able to get close to HR's base.
Just look at this net worth graph for a second, though. Boy, has the state of this game changed. Not that the numbers are so significant, but a huge swing now for 4ASC where they're kind of in control of this game. They still need to be a little bit careful. Of course, at this stage, either team getting completely wiped will pretty much result in some structures going down or a Roche being claimed, but they've got the farm. Their carriers are now completely online, and they are scary.
Man, oh man. This game is close. In HR, they're just fighting for a game 3 at this point. 4 Anchors looking to close this out 2-0. Very different than what we saw in game number 1. But
yep.
Blink really across from Afro Ninja. Very safe. Going to step back and away. All right. Man, oh man. The game gets longer. I just can't help but feel a bit more comfortable for Anchors. You know, Ember is one of those heroes. It's just, he'll just continue to build up extra damage. Dare I say, a rapier at some point, if must.
He could.
Who knows?
Now, the Aegis has expired from Bloodseeker just through the test of time. He has also eaten a Moon Shard. I don't think we made note of that, but he did buy one, already consumed it, and will now have an open inventory slot for possibly next Roche or whatever he wants to finish off that inventory with. And she's still in the inventory of Roman there on the Tusk. 4SC, though, they're the aggressors now. They're moving about the dire jungle, trying to get some vision up top. Trixie whiffs the hook shot, but they still might be able to find one. Got him, walks into the tower. TP's home, but will get interrupted by the fissure and brought down in a matter of seconds. Shadow Fiend gets credit for that one. On the other side of it, Dread on the run. Trixie does have a hook shot, pops the Lotus Orb to get things started. Battery Assault used, and, well, that was a lackluster hook shot there, but they should still be able to finish off Dread. No, they can't. That was an odd series of force stabs and what have yous, but he does TP home successfully.
Yeah. As graphic as it looks, you'd think it would cancel a TP. It doesn't. I mean, even I still blinding light in hopes that somehow it would cancel a TP, but it does not. Neither does force stab. So Dread etches himself out. Trixie tried to pump out the fakes of the hook shot, but not going to happen. Look at Roman. He snags a snipe onto the courier here, and that is a perseverance. Plus a smoke and a TP that had been taken away. Not sure who that perseverance was for.
Oh, Dread in the mid lane. Matumba Man pops the BKB and goes straight in. This is a 10-second BKB debut for just the Jakiro, and he does have a buyback, but it's still a 5v3 on the field. They will clear out this creep wave, and this time split pushing for HR can be a little more difficult. Creep equilibrium up top is in favor of 4ASC, and down bottom, it's not close enough that they can reasonably pressure the base. Jakiro probably going to be forced into a buyback here. Nemphy gets Walrus kicked back towards the base, but then the Lotus Orb comes out, and Nemphy will be just fine. Force stab back, Dream Coil onto Boogie and Nemphy. It'll get broken. Nemphy, he's stunned up forever. Boogie still caught inside of the coil, but it will be a dead Ember, dead Shadow Fiend, and Earthshaker. It's a disaster for 4ASC. They'll have some buybacks available, but now Volix gets left behind, and it will be HR heading straight for the enemy base. Wow.
Oh, boy.
Was that the power of the Walrus kick right there?
Yeah, it was great. That's all about positioning. They shoved into the vase, so quickly all hands on deck. 4 Anchors tried to save him, and now the buybacks have to start coming out. They have them on everyone, with the exception, though, of their Earthshaker, who would have an Echo Slam ready to go. Oh,
he actually has
got it now.
He just got
it now.
Okay.
Okay, so here comes the high ground defense. They're going to need to use it.
I think they want to burn all these buybacks. I'm not even sure what they're waiting for here. Maybe they're hoping that they can save just one of them. Hook shot out from Trixie. Ember Spirit on the way. Flame Guard on, doesn't do a hell of a lot with that Sleight of Fist, but maybe they can do this with only two of the 4 buybacks deployed. HR still having trouble sieging. Oh my gosh, Dread falling like a sack of bricks. There you go, big baby. Matumba Man making it happen. The rest of HR in shambles as now they're trying to exit the base. Trixie with a hook shot up in about 5 seconds. Maybe able to grab one. Got him with the Glimmer Cape on. Trixie, this is you. Can you find the hook shot? He's going fishing. And he doesn't get the fish this go around.
Regeneration.
Okay. He is just shredding through them. And that's the respect you got to give them for their high ground defense. They don't even have to utilize the Nemphy buyback for it.
Yep.
And
or the boogie.
Just back and forth we go. Both teams showing they have such a strong fortification that is not going to be easy to breach. You'd have to hope that you get a big team wipe and there is no buyback to fall back on.
Well, now we'll see some more item upgrades come about. Trixie with a long hook shot up top. Will get Hex straight away. Boots of Travel's on the way in, but Trixie just gets obliterated. A bit too ambitious with that one. Radiant TP on the way. Matumba Man as well as Nemphy here with BKBs on. Dream Coil's already been deployed. Can they actually win this man fight, though? Volix on the backside. Rupture out on the Nemphy. That'll stop him dead in his tracks. A Fissure blocks out the Bloodseeker, but no, there's a little gap in the trees there. He almost makes it out, but Mana Leak stuns him and secures the kill for Matumba Man. There is a buyback available on the Bloodseeker. Again, for ASC with a pretty good skirmish. There will be a big push on the way to the bottom lane, but they will get there in time to repel.
I mean, these little picks are nice. They come out and happen for both teams, but we need objectives, boys. At some point, you got to get into that base, and I don't know what it's going to take for them to do it. It seems like both teams might lose a couple of sacrifices, but it seems to be like a support here, a carry there, and if it happens to be a core, they have the buyback ready to go. In this case, it's Bloodseeker, but look at this. Roche is up 4 acres. They're going to go right for it here. Yeah, it's not daytime. They won't have that pleasurable,
it's about to be, though.
Vision.
It's about to be in a few seconds. There is a Tier 2's tower standing in the bottom lane. They could buy back the Bloodseeker here and contest this, but a very risky play. Also important to note that 4ASC have picked up now 2 sets of upgraded BOTs on their 2 main cores, Nemphy and Matumba Man. So there is room for some trickery if they can bait with one and then have some clutch TPs come in. I like the way 4ASC are doing this, though, putting their 2 carries in the Roche pit. The rest of their team just spread around, possibly playing the sacrificial lamb role if somebody rotates in, and they'll know that this was a safe play to make. Aegis goes to the Ember Spirit. They'll just leave the cheese behind for now.
Yeah, Alex puts a nice deep aggressive ward, but unfortunately it was spotted. Plays the second one towards the mid lane. And we'll just kind of keep that lane pressured and back. So, Four Anchors get their first Roche of this game. You got to remember this started as all Hellraisers all day. They had a beautiful laning phase, way up and ahead. They lost their towers very quickly. We already anticipated their high ground defense was going to be something else, and it has been. And now their cores are in a position where they just hit so damn hard. They're pretty much fully 6-slatted and equipped, ready to play.
Yep.
And
they do go back for the cheese, by the way. It goes to the Coddle, so it has been utilized by the Radiant side. And now another Lotus Orb comes out, also on the Coddle.
This is nice. Very nice. And this is just where, I don't know, I mean, wasn't it Dendy who said when games get this late, it's just shit can hit the fan?
Yep.
Nope. Noob caught out. They dusted him up. They're TPing on him to save, but you see the TPs come from the other side as well. Nemphy, BKB, Requiem going to fly out. Doesn't catch on anyone. Matumba Man is going to go down. That's his Aegis. However, Trixie looking to jump on in, but they need more help. Their healer and Coddle's not here quite yet, and they get the Echo off from Boogie, but he should fall thereafter. Lotus and the Ghost Scepter will save him in the meantime. Trixie able to skate barely away from trouble at this point. And Roman continues to fight on forward. Afro Ninja going to be taken down from Trixie. Barely holds and lives. Nemphy now charges back to save his ally. Already a buyback from Afro Ninja at this point. Nemphy now nicely locked in place. They're going to look to wreck him apart. And Justin Noob cleans house with an Ultra. 4 down all day. Only 1 buyback. This might be the end of 4 Acres.
This very well could be. Oh, that Blood Right was just so perfect. As soon as the Bloodseeker died, the Ember Spirit died, he came back to life, got hit by a silence, and Nemphy just clobbered, not Nemphy, the Bloodseeker just clobbered in. I'm going crazy, man. That was insane. No buybacks of the 3 dead. Now this Tier 3 tower will be under heavy assault. They're even trying to split push it with Gotham in the bottom lane. That's keeping Nemphy busy for now. Tier 3 tower falls. This will be at least 1 lane of barracks. I can't imagine it not being more. 4ASC will hang on till the bitter end, but I think Hellraisers have finally done it after 66 minutes of gameplay.
That's just to finally take this series into a Game 3 already. This is turning into a nice little rivalry almost in itself. Well, they get the 1 racks, they get the 2nd here, and 4 Anchors not looking to throw in the towel quite yet, but this is looking over. It's just amazing that a game, just the amount of time and effort that both teams put into it just for it to end like that, it's just, that's Dota. You know?
Well, and on top of that, it's the team with the Aegis and Cheese that lost that fight. They were the aggressors there, and it seemed like they had the edge, but Man, that Ember Spirit, he did nothing with his second life. It was almost like it never happened. He came back and died nearly instantly. If he could have just gotten off one sleight of fist, that team fight's completely different. We'll see the final stand here as, oh my, nice synergy. You see the Dream Coil on the Shadow Fiend. Tusk kicks him back into the well to break the tether, and he's stunned for 5 seconds. That's a cute way to end that game. GGs are finally called as the throne is destroyed, and, well, Dakota, we're moving into a game 3 here, man.